This man, Harrison Butker, is going viral because of his commencement speech over the weekend. Now, the very first video that I saw him giving, the one that I saw first, was him talking directly to the ladies. But in his speech, he actually talked to the men first. It's just that the first one that I saw was him talking to the women and what women's roles should be. And his talking points went hand in hand with another video that I did back in April, where I was talking about religion and patriarchy go hand in hand. And in this video, I was also talking about how the red pill, the manosphere talking points come directly from these Abrahamic religions that put their God, the husband, the wife, as the managers of the home, and basically children below women. And all of this goes hand in hand. They use their Bible as their talking points, and then they use that to keep women in these subservient roles. When I first heard his speech, obviously, as a feminist, reducing women down to being servants and incubators was grating to my nerves. But then I had to take a step back. Benedictine College is a Catholic college, and they invited this man. Okay, whatever. I really would like to know what the women thought listening to this speech. I would also like to know what the parents of these women thought as they listened to this speech. Like they're going through all of this time and energy and money to graduate college, but to be reduced down to serving a man, being his bang maid and being an incubator. That's basically what they continue to reduce women down to. Just to know, this is a small college. They had a record number of seniors walk across the stage, but their record number is 485. So it's a small school. This is just going viral because this is social media. Also, this is a Catholic church, and the way he's talking, it sounds like they are conservative people. So what he was saying probably resonated with those people in the audience. I don't know, because this is definitely anti what everything that I believe. So people were talking about him all over the place yesterday. People were writing articles, making videos, and everything. I want to talk about some of the things that he said to men. Okay, so he just put in a bunch of things that are like highly questionable to me. He was saying some of the lies that have been told to men. Men are not necessary in our homes, in our communities. That is absolutely false. Men are necessary, but what they need to do is actually participate in the home life rather than thinking that they are just the dictators of the homes. And when it comes to these Christian conservatives in the manosphere, simply being in the home is enough for them, to the point where they don't actually think that they are supposed to participate in the home. He also says, as men, we set the tone of the culture, which is absolutely asinine. How are you going to set the tone for the culture when women are the ones that are are the ones that are made to manage the home and take care of everything in the home life? He said because of the absence of fathers, disorder, dysfunction, and chaos sets in. But nobody said that fathers had to be absent. People are wanting present fathers, people that are more than just living, breathing furniture, that are actually participating in the home life. And the crazy thing is, he's talking about the absence of men creates violence, but he's not talking about the violence that ensues because men in the home are actually violent towards the people in the home. Because typically, if there is violence committed against women, it is from somebody they know, or because of a relationship. He is telling the men, and I actually wrote notes. He's telling the men, let's be masculine. Let's preserve masculinity because people are looking to emasculate you. And then he had this word salad: do hard things, never settle for what is easy, which is basically do hard things. So what the heck does that even mean? There's no tangibles in that. So he said in this that he's some kind of amateur public speaker, and obviously that is true, because do hard things and never settle for what is easy is the same thing, and it doesn't even say anything. That's just some words. And then he said, find a talent that glorifies God. What God, what talent does God need? Is it arts and crafts? Is it making a garden? What is a talent that he's telling these men to go off and do? Is it chopping wood? And he's talking about God, and the God that he was talking about, he said the God of the Old Testament was pretty particular in how he wanted to be worshiped. So he's talking Old Testament, and the Old Testament God was sitting up there wiping away swaths of people simply because they didn't glorify him in a special way. But also, he's talking to men, and at this particular point, it's apparent that he needs them to be these demigods because that is what patriarchy has sold them anyway. That you are a demigod, you get your wife servant, wife appliance, and you get these children to edify you. Now you need to go out and edify God in some manly type of way with some talent. But still, like I said, he's created this word salad that's not really specific. And what even is this masculinity? And being in the home, but not telling these men to participate in the home, which is what women are asking for, participation in the home, not just being a dictator in the home. So that's what he was saying to the men. He also spoke about vocation and how being a husband is his vocation, and he's talking about his wife's vocation. In Catholic terms, a vocation is a calling from God to a particular state of life or a specific mission in the service of the church. So it could be marriage. For many Catholics, the vocation to marriage is seen as a way to live out one's faith by forming a family based on love, mutual support, and openness to life. The sacrament of marriage is considered a vocation that involves a lifelong commitment to one's spouse and potential children. So that is your vocation. Some people might choose the religious life, and I don't know why that's different from the priesthood, but someone else's vocation might also be the single life where you can still glorify their God. So just in case you're not Catholic and you didn't know why he's talking in terms of vocation and marriage, because that is your job. But what I don't understand is why women need to spend thousands upon thousands of dollars and time and energy to go to church. I'm sorry, to go to college to simply, go back home. I don't get it, especially since college is not cheap. You have to pay back those student loans, and every wife will not have a husband that is an NFL player that can help repay those loans. So now we're going to go back to the things that he was saying to women. Basically, he's like, young ladies, you should be proud of all that you achieved. That's cute and all, but now go serve a man. Go have some babies. That's cute and all. You did so good. And he's talking about the lies women have been told that your promotions, that women that are looking forward to their promotions, their titles, their careers, that is all, why are you even thinking about that when you should be thinking about your calling? You really begin living life after you start serving a man, after you get married and have some babies and you're connected to a man, and now you can fully live in your purpose, which is to serve a man. He's like, look, if I didn't have my wife that gave up on her dreams, even though she went to college and she graduated college, if she didn't sacrifice her dreams and career for me, I wouldn't be able to be an entrepreneur, an amateur public speaker, and this NFL player that I am today, because she is at home handling everything and not being paid for it and having her unpaid labor go directly to me. So that is literally what this man is saying at this commencement. To the point where somebody changed his Wikipedia under his personal life. Butker is married with 2 children. His greatest joy is being the killer of his wife's dreams and shackling her to a life of being his waitress and nanny. When these conservative men are talking versus these manosphere people are talking, you really can't tell the difference between the two because they are saying pretty much the same thing. This is the reason why they denigrate feminists and feminism, because then those women have authority over their own bodies. They can do what they want with their lives and not just be reduced to incubator wife appliance that is here to serve a man. Your life could be bigger than that. And I'm not even saying anything to these women. These women might enjoy that, but life is bigger than that title. Anyways, let me know what you think about this. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.
It is only in the past few years that I have grown in courage to speak more boldly and directly, because as I mentioned earlier, I have leaned into my vocation as a husband and father, and as a man. To the gentlemen here today, part of what plagues our society is this lie that has been told to you that men are not necessary in the home or in our communities. As men, we set the tone of the culture, and when that is absent, disorder, dysfunction, and chaos set in. This absence of men in the home is what plays a large role in the violence we see all around the nation. Other countries do not have nearly the same absentee father rates as we find here in the US, and a correlation could be made in their drastically lower violence rates as well. Be unapologetic in your masculinity, fighting against the cultural emasculation of men. Do hard things. Never settle for what is easy. You might have a talent that you don't necessarily enjoy, but if it glorifies God, maybe you should lean into that over something that you might think suits you better. I speak from experience as an introvert who now finds myself as an amateur public speaker and an entrepreneur, something I never thought I'd be when I received my industrial engineering degree. The road ahead is bright. Things are changing, society is shifting, and people, young and old, are embracing tradition. Not only has it been my vocation that has helped me and those closest to me, but not surprising to many of you, should be my outspoken embrace of the traditional Latin Mass. I've been very vocal in my love and devotion to the TLM and its necessity for our lives. But what I think gets misunderstood is that people who attend the TLM do so out of pride or preference. I can speak to my own experience, but for most people I have come across within these communities, this simply is not true. I do not attend the TLM because I think I am better than others, or for the smells and bells, or even for the love of Latin. I attend the TLM because I believe, just as the God of the Old Testament was pretty particular in how he wanted to be worshiped, the same holds true for us today. It is through the TLM that I encountered order and began to pursue it in my own life. Ladies and gentlemen of the class of 2024, you are sitting at the edge of the rest of your lives. Each of you has the potential to leave a legacy that transcends yourselves and this era of human existence. In the small ways, by living out your vocation, you will ensure that God's church continues and the world is enlightened by your example. For the ladies present today, congratulations on an amazing accomplishment. You should be proud of all that you have achieved to this point in your young lives. I want to speak directly to you briefly because I think it is you, the women, who have had the most diabolical lies told to you. How many of you are sitting here now, about to cross this stage, and are thinking about all the promotions and titles you are going to get in your career? Some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world. I can tell you that my beautiful wife, Isabel, would be the first to say that her life truly started when she began living her vocation as a wife and as a mother. I'm on this stage today and able to be the man I am because I have a wife who leans into her vocation. I'm beyond blessed with the many talents God has given me, but it cannot be overstated that all of my success is made possible because a girl I met in band class back in middle school would convert to the faith, become my wife, and embrace one of the most important titles of all, homemaker. She's the primary educator to our children. She's the one who ensures I never let football or my business become a distraction from that of a husband and father. She's the person that knows me best at my core, and it is through our marriage that, Lord willing, we will both attain salvation. I say all of this to you because I have seen it firsthand, how much happier someone can be when they disregard the outside noise and move closer and closer to God's will in their life. Isabel's dream of having a career might not have come true, but if you asked her today if she has any regrets on her decision, she would laugh out loud without hesitation and say, heck no. As a man who gets a lot of praise and has been given a platform to speak to audiences like this one today, I pray that I always use my voice for God and not for myself. Everything I am saying to you is not from a place of wisdom, but rather a place of experience. I am hopeful that these words will be seen as those from a man not much older than you, who feels it is imperative that this class, this generation, and this time in our society must stop pretending that the things we see around us are normal.